One of the most misunderstood people when it comes to emotions are people who practice healthy detachment. Unfortunately, healthy detachment is something that people have to master, and not everybody is born with it. If you are born with it, good for you. But many of us have to go through some really bad things in life, a really big betrayal in life, which finally pushes us to love without having any expectations of being loved back. And how many times have you said to your best friends, to your family members, that I just don't get the same energy in return, and I am giving all of this with an expectation of getting the same energy back? And that is human nature. But unfortunately, many people tend to hate people who detach easily without drama. People hate that you do not do drama. And the problem is, if you do drama when you leave somebody's life, then you become a drama king, you become a drama queen. And when you leave without any drama, they call you uptight, they call you fake, they call you all these type of names just because you do not thrive in chaos and you accept the fact that the relationship is over. You're not the one to chase. But when you're not the one to chase and you're also somebody who likes to sit in isolation, you're not in anybody else's business, you're in your own lane, you'll try to fight for any relationship for as long as you can. But as soon as you're done, as soon as you feel unwelcomed, and as soon as you see that people are snakes around you, you leave. You do not indulge somewhere where you do not belong. And it does not mean that you're cocky. It's just that you're excusing yourself for your own mental health. Unfortunately, growing up, we put our mental health in the back seat just because we want to fit in and we want to make sure that everybody around us feels good when we ourselves are in shambles. And when you finally start to take a stand for your own mental health, everybody talks about how mental health is important. But when it comes to a point where you need to be supportive about somebody else's mental health, it comes to a point where you choose your own ego over your friend's mental health, and you take their silence or they take your silence as a personal attack. And if you choose to distance yourself, and if you want to bring a change in your life, which means also changing your lifestyle, which automatically includes people who want to not change with you and their lifestyle, so you have to leave them behind. And when you leave them behind, you're not just handling those emotions that's made you leave people behind and put you in a place where you have to cut ties. And that's not a really nice place to be. And if you're already going through some life crisis, but that's in disguise because God is putting you through a silent period, because in those moments you can really see who really supports you through your silence, and not that they have to talk to you every day, because you don't have to be in somebody's face to show that you love them. But in those silent moments, your intuition will speak with you, and the energy around you, you will know if this was a friend or if this was a foe. And if you are in a journey where you are choosing yourself and you are following your purpose, your life path, people will always put obstacles in your way because they feel that you progressing and you finally choosing your purpose and understanding your purpose is a direct insult to them. And when you stand by your purpose and you voice your opinion, and your purpose can be anything that is gifted by God to you, and everybody's purpose is very personal to them because you come with certain ancestors who belong to you, and you're here to fulfill that purpose that you promised to fulfill. And those who get it, they get it. But unfortunately, when you choose your life path and your purpose, that means you need to make changes in your lifestyle. You need to make changes in how you've lived life, for how many years you've lived, to change your vices, to go internal, to face your demons, to fight your demons. And all of those things take a lot of energy, and that takes a lot of emotional and your mental health. And in between that, people attack you, people malice you, people hurt you, implant fear in you. One of the saddest things, these are the same people you ate with, you partied with, you slept with. And when you leave people behind, you're already going through a lot of ascension in your life because you have that calling in your life. People use this as an opportunity to call you fake, and you following your purpose, just a desperate need for attention, when they can't even decipher the fact that you're finally letting go of this 3D reality and you're finally following your calling. But if they can't even wrap their heads around that, that must tell you their IQ and where you stand. It's a very sad place to be when people think that they know your life just because they've met you in a certain phase of your life. Just because you guys been friends with for some while and you guys have shared some intimate moments with each other, whatever the relationship, does not mean that you know me, does not mean I know you. And that is something that you must set boundaries with. And if you set boundaries with people, because you need to make them understand and actually remind them that they have not lived your life. Your childhood, your traumas are yours. So when they claim to know everything about you and use that as an opportunity to hurt you, just because you do not react to them, because you are now looking at a life from a higher perspective, because you want to do something out of your life and for people that you love, who also love you back unconditionally. And if you already know these people don't, you do not want to give them attention. And this is the same time when they'll do everything in their power to get your attention. Why do they want your attention so badly? Is because they know that you're progressing and ascending. And it is not easy to let go of the lifestyle which comes with its material gains and which comes with its vices. It's hard to sit in silence. It's hard to meditate. It's hard to pray every day. It's hard to not involve ourselves in things that our 3D self would love to get involved in. And when people see you doing that, when people see you progressing, they do not like the fact that they are being left behind. Instead of coming up to you and telling you that I also want to follow this life path, they just do not want to give that up. But they also do not think that you deserve to elevate, and therefore they want to keep you where they are. And if you still manage to move forward and not harm them, not even retaliate, but just be your mere self, irritates them. And so then what happens? Soon enough, you become the foe. You become the person who everybody hates. Everywhere you walk, people will not even look at you. Suddenly people's energy change around you. And yes, you have parted ways with people once you knew, but now the way people look at you is different. And why is that? Because people can use words, and words is all they have to malice you. But unfortunately, gossip spreads like wildfire. And when you are somebody who sits inside and minds your own, it's even easier for people to spoil your name and to come between your own manifestations. And if your old version of you would go back begging and would go back to clear your name, that is the version that they used to. But this version of you, do not even pay attention, because let the world talk around you. As long as it's not coming directly to you, it shouldn't bother you. So you keep handling your own business, because that's what they want. They want you to divert your mind from your purpose. They want you to divert your mind from your job, from whatever you're doing that's building you up. Keep prayed up. Keep sure that your energy around you is of light, and make sure that you are focused in your own growth. Never create negative energy. Don't send it towards them. But like I always say, protect your energy, and that means returning all those negative energies that they are doing to attack you in the spiritual reality. And if they come to you face to face and attack you physically, there's always 911, and you should know when to involve the cops. You can't handle everything on your own. And if you know somebody is on you, they only want you to be in fear and stop your movements because your purpose annoys them. Also not your place to make anybody else understand when you move on, it's not about them. They don't even know how you were grown. If you were grown as a child with someone who has healthy detachment, nobody can change that within you. That's inbuilt. And yes, you must have had friends who know ins and outs of you, so you would believe. But you are a human being, and you're an individual of your own, and you know what is best for you. And when you finally get to that place where you're no longer afraid of being lonely, and people think that putting you in a place of where you're secluded and alone, you'll be scared. But when you used to feel scared before and you had that victim mentality, you now flipped it and you use that for your power. And personally for me, it's very simple. If somebody does not want to be with me, they're free to leave. And I'm not the one to chase. But when I don't chase, people take that as a retaliation tactic, when it is not a retaliation tactic. It's just that I let you go, and that's how I allow people to treat me. And when I don't chase and I do not attack people, they do not like it. So make it make sense, because there is no way for anybody to please people, because people will never be happy. You'll always be the wrong one, you'll always be the evil one when you do not chase. And when you do not feed people's ego, you cannot keep relationships. And growing up, I've never had long-term friendships. Even if I'd had long-term friendship, it'd probably be in breaks. And whoever calls me a friend from childhood, that's not true, because I've always lost friends and people close to me. So I'm sure, just like me, you are also in a place where you do not seek revenge, where you do not seek a reaction. And that's what causes people to act on their ego. And because they cannot get a reaction off of you, they start to use other resources and their other people and friends to instill fear in you, to make you feel like that you're being watched, to make you keep quiet, to make sure that you don't follow your purpose in whatever capacity that may be. They will cause you financial issues, they will cause you mental issues, they will cause you emotional issues, they will affect your identity, they will cause your name to be completely dragged into the mud, and people will start believing that. And you will never even understand what's going on behind your back, because you're putting your head down, you're focused on your stuff, and you're moving forward. Keep doing that. And in moments like this, if you give them energetically even what they want from you, it's not about who won, it's about who you're winning for. Your battle is not with anybody around you, it's not with people. You work for God. And if somebody comes between you and your life's purpose and where you are headed in life, because that's your calling and God is trying to take you somewhere, that means even if you're trying to start something new, if someone is trying to come in between your calling and you are not creating any hindrance in anybody's life, but they are purposely throwing obstacles after obstacles in every possible way, just know they're fighting with God directly. And God will protect you in 3D, in 5D, and nothing will touch you. And so sometimes, even if it hurts us, because once we love these people, and sometimes these people are strangers, but God uses people to make sure that we are ready to pass the test. Because many a times we failed the same test, we've gone back to the same people, places, things, objects, and people have always seen us as weak, as meek. Because people who never have good intentions for you, they're always looking for ways to bring you down. And when you are already not working on yourself, that's great for them, and you both are hanging with each other in whatever capacity that may be. But as soon as you choose God, you choose yourself, and whatever calling and whatever you want to do with your life, because you are made by one maker and you are your own king or queen. When you finally come into the realization of the power that you hold within you and not in the 3D reality, that is when you're truly humble. So when people around you want to humble you, how can they humble you when you're already humble? And how can they humble somebody who God is trying to elevate? And God can only elevate you if you are willing to fight the fight that you have to fight. And God will use people either to help support you so you can also bring them up with you, because that's the spirit you carry within yourself. You don't have a spirit of hatred. But if instead they choose to hate you because you love them unconditionally and because you love yourself unconditionally, then that's on them. And if you divert from your purpose, then what is the difference between you and a karmic? You don't want to be a karmic. So don't let the enemy take you away from something that God wants you to do. And always remember, your purpose, your gift is something that has always come natural to you. And it can be as weird and as different as it may be for the world. but your people will understand the gift that you hold, because your gift will attract other people with the gifts that you hold, and that is your soul brothers and your soul sisters. But when you push away your purpose, when you push away your own life gifts, because that means getting into isolation, you choose the 3D world, and that's on you, that's okay. But if somebody else feels that you are powerful and they are now powerless because you chose you, that is twisted. That must just tell you that they always saw you as weak and they always saw you beneath them. So in this case, you ask yourself, do you want to be in any kind of relationship, family or not, if they see you as somebody who's beneath them, who needs them, and if you dared to choose you, they would attack you in every way possible? Or you need somebody who loves you, who supports you, and who also supports the fact that if you choose to part ways for as long as you want, they let you go because they respect the times you both spend with each other, and they respect the fact that you are finally choosing you and you're finally following God. And if they can't support you and join you and be the best version of themselves, they let you go with peace. But that doesn't happen. I'm a big believer of karma, of what goes around comes around, and it is what it is. And if it is meant to be, it'll always be. Because as much as we want something desperately in our life, if it is not supposed to be in our life beyond a certain time, it's just not meant to. And I come from a place who had acute anxiety and attachment issues. So for me to be in a place where I'm so detached, I really had to go through it. And I still get attacked, but fortunately, I pay attention on me and God keeps me focused because I'm disciplined with myself. And you, if you're on a journey of self and purpose, be disciplined, because as time passes by, people will wither away and new devils will keep coming up. But just know that any situation that you're put in, it's not who you're dealing with, it's how you deal with it, positive or negative. Therefore, continue to choose God, and God will always give you what you should do, the next step that you must take, and how you should maneuver around a situation. Just know that people who operate in the dark have very different mentality, and they would expect you to act, respond, react the same way they would. So they can't even understand how you would react or respond if they do not see themselves in the light. And not to say you're better than anybody, but if they think that you are better than them, then that's on them. You don't need to compete with nobody else, but nor do you need to stoop down to somebody who operates in a very low vibrational energy just because you want to get even. What do you want to get even with? At the end of the day, your calling is way more than where you are right now. And if you get stuck in the right now and in reacting and responding, you're then getting stuck in the circle, which is completely karmic, where you're going back to responding, reacting, acting. And these are just different people wearing different pants, different skirt, but the situation is repeating. And when you finally see people on a soul level, and when you do not take their attacks personally, but instead you pray for them to heal, you may hate them in 3D, but in 5D, you still have love for all souls. And if they can't understand that, you can't expect them to understand that. And nor are you going to sit here and stop your life just for people who are not on the same value system as you right now to understand you. Move on, forgive. While nothing is easy to forget, forgiving is the first step towards forgetting that hurt. And when you finally let go of the hurt, you let go of the people, places, and everything that was attached to that situation. So in the future, whenever people try to remind you of who you used to be and what happened, and all those people who want to talk in your expense, because that's all they have, the ghost of your past to talk about, to slander about, and to take opportunities away, God will bring another opportunity, multiple opportunities with multiple times better. So what's yours is yours, and what's not yours will never be yours. Who's meant to be will be, who's not to be will not be. It's not your place to say that or teach that. It was never personal. It is not personal. It will never be personal. You are somebody who wants to be the best version of you, and you also know how detachment works because your life history, your life story, your life purpose is different from your best friend, from your friend, from your family member, from your colleague. So if in any way, shape or form, if you ever have to part ways, surround yourself with people who can accept that and who will not take that as an attack and as an excuse to hurt you and to completely malice your name or your character. That's no excuse for a human being. Remember, people come and go, but your purpose, your life, your destiny will never change. But it is also your duty to remember who you are, why are you here, and what is that you like to do for yourself and for your inner child. Does not mean that you have to be famous. Not everybody's purpose is to be out there. Your purpose does not need to be known by the world. But as long as you know what you are meant to do and what makes your inner child happy, your spirit happy, and if that is something which is a gift, don't let anybody else make you feel small about the fact that you are choosing your purpose. And most of all, you don't be embarrassed of your purpose just because you think you won't fit in. Why do you want to fit in? Do you want to be a follower or do you want to be a leader? And what makes you a leader? Leader is somebody who dares to be different. A leader is somebody who takes the first step, even if that means taking a risk. So whatever that risk is for you today, I'm here to tell you that take that first step. If you want to start that project, start that project. If you want to take that leap, take that leap. Do what your intuition is tugging at you to do. You already know what your purpose is. And for people who are hoping to start and walk in their life's purpose, it's okay to make a lifestyle change, to drop people, places, things, habits, but choose you, choose God, and always follow your purpose. And if you choose to ignore your intuition and still stay in a place where you are tolerated, already know that, but you rather stay with people and be surrounded by people than walking away, having dignity for your own self, showing up for your own self, and choosing your own self-worth, if that means fighting the entire world, because your name is what you were born with. And if somebody comes against your value, your character, just because they knew of you or because they knew you yesterday even, that does not mean you stay there. And that is on you. And even God can't help you if you do not help yourself. So choose you and choose people who choose you. I love you.